first of all, I think the apostolic temperament tends to be a little utilitarian and task-oriented. So, my people used to joke about me when I was pastoring, like, Michael loves you and he has a wonderful plan for your life. And so if I ever got, if I ever realized that I was actually, stressing people or injuring them a little bit, it's because I saw how they fit into the purposes of God, but I didn't really pay as much attention to them as an individual person of God. And so that would tend to be one of the challenges that apostolic people can manifest, is that you're so focused on the task as opposed to the people who are carrying out the task. And that's why we need the pastoral gift to be functioning, and we need actually our apostolic leaders to be more pastoral as well, because we need to be able to see the totality of Jesus. He was caring about individuals at the same time as giving us the Great Commission. Okay, so both come together. And sometimes also, I think one of the defects within the temperament of an apostolic leader is that they tend to be very success-oriented, very outcome-oriented, and that can produce, if they don't have a true spirit of sonship and adoption, it can actually produce an ambitious spirit that drives people and burns them out. Okay, and this can be a defect in the heart of an apostolic leader that can actually produce difficulty. And I can just name names, if you want me to, of different leaders that have actually produced movements that have actually harmed people because they were so focused on the success, the outcome of the organization. Okay, and that's also the flip side of that is fear of failure. That a lot of leaders are driven by that fear of failure in a way that isn't at rest in the Spirit of God. And I can confess that I've had challenges with that through my life. Those issues that have hit me as a more apostolically gifted person. But also, you can be very vulnerable to disappointment, because if things don't go your way, you can actually go, kind of a little bit bipolar on the issue and hit some deep lows if you're not careful as an apostolic leader. Now, let's flip over and look at the prophetic a little bit in this same section of our notes. The prophetic temperament will tend to be intuitive, but also impulsive, and tend to be a little bit reactionary, like, oh, the word of the Lord came, this is what we're supposed to do. Oh no, the word of the Lord came next week, this is the other thing we're supposed to do. And it can be kind of confusing because there's so much intuitive responsiveness in the heart of a prophetic leader that you can actually be challenged on that level. Okay. The next thing, though, is you can also, many people who are prophetic before they're mature. And so they end up actually sharing their prophetic revelations in a way that most pastors become offended by. And so most pastors are trying to, sort of silence that prophetic person prematurely, not understanding that there's a maturation process that needs to take place. And if you actually misunderstand them or accuse them of being too bossy or too judgmental or too white and black or too reactionary, then you can actually harm them and generate almost like a spirit of rejection. And this can even be rooted deeply in a prophetic person's childhood, because, I believe these gifts are actually starting to be worked in our lives at a very early age. And if a prophetic person is seeing something and speaking to it, but they're speaking without maturity, they can offend people and be rejected. And then a spirit of rejection begins to grow. And I don't know, I've probably pastored dozens of prophetic people over the years. And most prophetic people, not all, but most, have to really come through the healing process of a spirit of rejection and really repent of any ownership or any partnership they've developed with that mental attitude in order to really step into the freedom of their true gifting. Okay, so we see there's obstacles. So many apostolic leaders are afraid of their prophetic people, or they're just passive in relationship to them, whereas the partnership then breaks down. Or on the other hand, many prophetic people see the defects of an apostolic leader going too fast, too far, too quickly in a way that burns people out, and they become reactive and draw away. We want to see the partnership between those two giftings, that the apostolic has a strategy, he has a plan, she has a vision, she has a sense of purpose, purpose, but she also needs to be attentive to the immediate word of the Lord. The prophetic people are tuned into heaven, but in a way that doesn't always serve the focus of the apostolic vision. So that needs to be brought into right relationship as healing, as the right spirit is cultivated within the hearts of your apostolic and prophetic people. And these and other temperamental challenges can hinder partnership in the kingdom.